Chapter 8. Nobody asked. Suletta passed out from the pain in the infirmary once the medical team got to work removing the melted pieces of suit from her burned leg. She is the world's luckiest pilot. The beam saber penetrated the cabin of Ariel, but missed touching her directly. Suletta would not only keep her leg, but only endure second and third degree burns. The procedure could have been worse if she actually wore her boots, like she was supposed to. This will be the only time that Mjolnir doesn't get on the redhead for not wearing shoes. An uninvited visitor shows up the next day, causing Mjolnir to look like a rabid fox with a death wish. The silver-haired teen holds Prospera outside the recovery room. "Don't you dare step foot in there. You're no longer her mother. You lost that privilege when you sold her." The older woman covers her mouth as she quietly laughs. Ah, adorable. That means so much from the person who's taking advantage of her. Mjolnir's left stammering as Prospera walks into the room with Suletta reading her tablet. I wonder if there's a way to overclock Ariel's processor. Imagine how much faster she can move, Suletta says excitedly. I wouldn't try that with your sister. Overclocking is dangerous. Suletta's head snaps up. This is the last voice she ever wants to hear. Her smile twists into a snarl. What are you doing here? Mjolnir quietly enters the room. She doesn't want to interrupt the conversation, but at the same time, she wants to make sure Prospera doesn't try anything. Prospera puts on her charming smile and quirks an eyebrow, like she doesn't know what she did. Can't I come and check on my daughters? The redhead places the tablet down. Her strong grip almost cracks the screen. You're not my mom. A mother wouldn't sell her daughter. Suletta balls her fists. Her fingernails dig into her skin. What if you sold me to someone that wanted to do horrible things to me? Even with her leg wrapped in a mound of gauze, Suletta looks ready to leap out of the bed and put her mother into a chokehold. Prospera scoffs and waves off her daughter's comment. Nothing was going to happen to you. Suletta is now seeing red. Her hands start to shake violently. You know what? Fuck you! Mjolnir's in shock. She's never heard Suletta curse. Prospera's eyes widen. She's just as shocked. She didn't expect for Suletta to get this angry at her. She figured giving her Ariel would smooth things over, and all would be forgiven. She was terribly wrong. Prospera shifts gears and tries to apologize, but Suletta doesn't want to hear it. Go to your stupid meeting. I know that's the real reason why you're here. Suletta, please. The redhead points at the door. Then tell me why you sold me, or get out. Prospera pauses for a moment, trying to find the correct words for the situation. She locks eyes with Suletta. I sold you to blackmail Delling. Mjolnir covers her mouth. She's worried if she moves her hands, she's going to say something regrettable. Suletta, on the other hand, becomes more angry. So, you gave me up for leverage against the president of another company? Yes. But I've been working on a project called Quiet Zero. Prospera points a thumb over her shoulder at Mjolnir. Her father was pursuing it, where the gun format's network would be used to rewrite the world without war, except I'm going to use it to bring back my daughter. Prospera turns back to Mjolnir. My daughter Aries' heart and brain are inside of Ariel. Mjolnir's stomach drops. Now she understands why Suletta was so scared of losing to Elan. Suletta frowns. That would make Ariel a Gundam. Prospera continues. That would be correct. She is a Gundam. The redhead growls. So, let me get this straight. You sold me so you can get Eri back? The elder nods. She fully expects Suletta to be on board for this plan. She's always been a bit of a pushover. Suletta stares into her mother's eyes. Get out. Get the fuck out. Prospera isn't really bothered about being yelled at by her daughter. She knows the anger will pass, and Suletta will be back by her side. The elder pretends to be hurt by the teen's words. She walks out the door and turns at the last second. I love you. Mjolnir can see right through Prospera's bad acting and shuts the door. Are you okay? Suletta shakes her head. Suletta holds her hand out. Once Mjolnir takes the open hand, she gently bites the top of the other team's hand. Mjolnir smiles at the gesture and returns with a gentle bite of her own. The duo stare into each other's eyes, not sure what this mutual feeling is. Suletta is released 3 weeks later, with the stipulation that Mjolnir assists with their care. The redhead is willing to do anything to be released from the infirmary. She feels like she's going to explode if she doesn't go for a walk. Not to mention, they don't give patients midnight snacks. Suletta, I know you want to get your own ham, but we need to change your bandages and put the cream on the doctor gave us. Mjolnir has her hands on her hips while tapping her toe. Ham? We have more? Suletta perks up and sits on the edge of Mjolnir's bed, with her crutches discarded an arm's length away. Mjolnir snaps a pair of medical gloves on and unwraps Suletta's leg. She is thankful medical technology has advanced to the point that injuries like this only take a short time to heal. She can't imagine her groom having nerve damage for the rest of her life because of a silly duel. The redhead quietly gasps from the cold cream being applied to her leg. She blushes and looks away from the other teen. Mjolnir pauses for a moment, realizing Suletta didn't bite her. The silver-haired teen slows her pace with applying the cream and starts to massage into her groom's injury. Suletta allows herself to flop backwards to avoid Mjolnir's caring gaze, but that doesn't stop the other from gently pressing her thumbs into the tender, darker-toned flesh. The redhead covers her face, trying her best to suppress a moan that wants to leave her lips. She isn't sure if it's from Mjolnir's dexterous fingers massaging her or the fact that her skin was cracking from the lack of moisture. I've been wanting to know for a while, but why do you bite people? Mjolnir pauses for a moment to let her groom answer. I've always bit people I didn't like, especially when I was a baby. I'd bite people trying to hold me. Suletta shrugs. I won't bite people I like, which is a very short list. Am I on that list? Getting there. Suletta looks away from Mjolnir and yawns. The silver-haired teen places her hands on her hips. You're sleeping here tonight. There's no way you can fit into the crate. Suletta remembers her thoughts of how soft Mjolnir must be if her hands are like clouds. She doesn't bother arguing. If you give me a slice of ham, I'll sleep in bed with you. The other teen smiles. Of course you would want food. Mjolnir can feel her heart thundering in her chest and her cheeks heating up. She still won't admit it to herself, but she's fallen so hard for the Tanuki. Meanwhile, on the other side of campus, Elan has just finished his physical checkup. He knows what's about to happen. He just wished he had more time. The sad teen has handcuffs slapped on his wrist again, then led to the conference room where all the CEOs are waiting for him. Elan doesn't pay attention to the bickering between the old women until one asks them in question. Why did you let Suletta Mercury win? We know you're a better fighter than that. Now we have the issue of giving up the Fair Act. One of the elders rolls her eyes, annoyed with the situation. Elan looks the women in their eyes and cracks a small smile, the first one he's possibly had his whole life. I didn't want to separate the two. The elder scoffs. It's just a Gundam. Now look at the mess you created. Elan shakes his head. No, I didn't want to separate Suletta and Mjolnir. A different elder calmly walks over to the teen with a handgun. Any last words? Elan picks his head up and presses his forehead against the barrel of the gun. Tell the original one of us. Fuck you.